Hello, this is Roger Mosby, President and CEO of the Boy Scouts of America. I'm very proud of every scout and scouter throughout the U.S. and worldwide who have adapted to continue scouting's traditions. And to the many veterans, of which I'm one, you're honoring today.
Hello from the Pacific Northwest. I'm Rear Admiral Doug Perry, the commander of Submarine Group 9 in Bangor, Washington. COVID-19 and the measures we've had to take have been tough on us all. We've been forced to curtail many of the activities and fun things we all enjoy. Sports, concerts, church services, scouting. These are real sacrifices and hardships. I'm extremely proud of you scouts getting creative and figuring out ways to keep learning, to keep growing, and to living up to your scouting values. We are all going to get through this together, and I look forward to the day when I can welcome you all up here to Bangor, Washington to see a real submarine. Until then, keep up your good work, keep up your great attitude, and keep scouting, because now it's time for Scout Saturday Live!
It's Scout Saturday Live with Nathaniel Cox, Charlotte Green, Cameron Irvine, Bailey Vincent, Sam Yamosta, and your host, Miranda Janae. And now, Miranda Janae.
Hi everyone, it's Saturday, May 23rd, and the weekend is finally here. Thank you for tuning in to episode 5 of Scout Saturday Live. I'm your host, Miranda Janae, and I'm so glad you're all here. I'm so excited to be standing on the famous and historic battleship Iowa, which served the United States Navy along with thousands of sailors throughout its 47 years in service. Sam is also somewhere on this ship. We'll check in with him in a little bit.
Hi, I'm Nathaniel Cox, and I'm here at the Army National Guard. Since its beginnings 384 years ago, soldiers have stood tall for their communities by protecting the weak, saving lives, and restoring neighborhoods during times of crisis, like fires, floods, hurricanes, and tornadoes.
Today is the start of the Memorial Day weekend in the United States. It is a holiday where we honor the servicemen and women who died in the wars. They died fighting for peace and freedom.
Memorial Day is not just celebrated in the United States. In fact, many other countries around the world have national holidays dedicated to their service members. For example, the United Kingdom and Canada celebrate Remembrance Day, France celebrates Armistice Day, Italy has Armed Forces Day, and New Zealand and Australia both celebrate Anzac Day.
Hi guys, I'm Bailey and I'm currently standing at the Southern California wing of the Commemorative Air Force. As you can see, there are many historic working aircrafts. All planes were flown by actual military service members. Many of the staff here are veteran pilots and we genuinely thank them for their service. Fun fact, did you know that Memorial Day was originally called Decoration Day in the late 1860s? People would go and decorate soldiers' graves. Now, does that sound familiar to any of you scouts?
Today is the day that scouts across the U.S. carry on this tradition by decorating the graves of fallen soldiers with flags at our national cemeteries throughout the country. Sadly, most of these ceremonies have been canceled this year. Please now welcome Gwen and Lila to tell us more.
Hi, I'm Gwen. I'm 16 and I'm a Star Scout from Troop 22. Hi, I'm Lila. I'm 14 and I'm also a Star Scout from Troop 22. And today we're here at the Los Angeles National Cemetery on the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend.
Today is the day we would normally be here with 6,000 scouts to honor fallen service members by placing flags on the 88,000 graves here. We honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice on behalf of our freedom. The LA National Cemetery is the final resting spot for service members who fought in wars and conflicts dating back to 1846. There are 14 Medal of Honor recipients who are buried here. The Los Angeles National Flag placement began more than 40 years ago and has grown each year. After the ceremonies and speeches, the Scouts place flags on the 88,000 graves that are here. It's an awesome responsibility that the Scouts are entrusted with, and one that we all take very seriously. From the youngest lion cub that is just starting on the scouting path, to Eagle Scouts who have earned scouting's highest honor, every single Scout understands the importance of respecting and honoring our country's fallen heroes. On this Memorial Day, while we cannot honor these fallen service members with our traditional flag placement, our hearts continue to be full of pride, respect, and appreciation. We salute with gratitude and thank you for your service and ultimate sacrifice. Thank you for your service.
Thank you guys. Now let's talk about what we have planned for you today. We've put together an amazing show that allows Scouts worldwide, but especially here in the United States, to continue to honor and observe the Memorial Day holiday in meaningful ways.
We all agree how important it is to not only observe the holiday, but to honor all the service members who continue to put their lives on the line for their country. That's why today's show is dedicated to all service members all around the world.
We have some pretty amazing things to show you today. And amazingly, they all have the Memorial Day holiday in common. Here's Bailey.
We cherish too the poppy red that grows on fields where valor led. It seems to signal to the skies that blood of heroes never dies. Many forms of Remembrance Days are celebrated all across the world. In the US, we call it Memorial Day. One of the more universal signs of a Remembrance Day is the red poppy. The red on the poppy symbolizes the blood of fallen heroes. And today for our craft, we're going to be making small little red poppy paper pins. It's a very simple project. You're going to need 3 sets of 2 circles, and they need to be like 3 different sizes. And then you're going to want a stapler and a black square and some safety pins. And for all your paper, you want to use tissue paper or crepe paper. So you're just going to start taking your circles and you're just going to start layering them. Now you can do it with only 1 paper, but I prefer 2 because it makes it really nice and like very fluffy. So once you get your 3 papers layered on top of each other, they don't have to be like perfect, so don't worry too much about that. I'm gonna staple them. Then you're going to take your square and you're going to staple that in the center of your circle. So now this is what you should have. So I know this doesn't look very much like this, but it will very soon. So next you're just gonna start taking each layer and you're just gonna start crumpling it on to the layer before. And I suggest taking it layer by layer, where each little piece you just start crumpling. And this is a very simple, easy craft to do. It doesn't take that long, but it comes out really, really nice. So once that's done, then go into the middle to find that little black square and just pull that up a little and then crumple them down like that. And then just frame a bit. And you can just keep adjusting it until it's to your liking. I like mine. This looks pretty good to me. So now we're gonna take our hot glue gun and we're going to hot glue on a safety pin. Now be very, very careful. And as well, when you're hot gluing down safety pins, you wanna make sure that you're hot gluing down the right side. So you still wanna be able to open up the safety pin. You wanna be able to open it like really easily. So I would suggest opening up your safety pin first, just to see which side the safety pin opens on, and then you wanna glue down the other side. Your hot glue, apply a strip. The hotter the hot glue, the better things will stick, and they also have a better chance of staying. Then very, 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 very carefully place in your safety pin.
and just want to hold it there a little until the glue starts to cool off. You can wear these because they are pins. You guys can wear these on your collars, and I definitely hope you enjoyed the craft. If you enjoyed the craft, and I hope you guys have a very good Memorial Day.
When the United States flag becomes worn, torn, faded, or badly soiled, it is time to replace it with a new one. And the old flag should be retired with all the dignity and respect befitting our nation's flag. The traditional method of retirement is to incinerate the flag, but this does not mean that one should simply drop the entire flag into a fire. A flag ceases to be a flag when it is cut into pieces. A flag should never be torn up like an old bedsheet. It should be cut up with scissors or shears in a methodical manner. Someone should cut the flag in half, vertically, and be careful not to cut up the blue star field. Then, place the two halves together and cut them in half horizontally. You will end up with 4 pieces of flag, one of them being the whole star field. I'm going to place that right here again. Then, we have 3 more, with a total of 4 pieces. The U.S. flag is more than just some brightly colored cloth. It is a symbol of our nation. 7 red stripes and 6 white stripes. Together, they represent the original 13 colonies that gained us liberty. They remind us of the lifeblood of brave men and women who were ready to die for this, their country.
The white stripes remind us of purity and cleanliness, of purpose, the word indeed.
The blue is for truth and justice, like the eternal blue of a star-filled heavens.
The stars represent the 50 sovereign states of our union.
The U.S. flag should be treated with respect when it's flying, and it should be treated with respect when it's being retired.
The American Creed states, "It is my duty to my country to love it, to respect its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies."
Therefore, we retire flags with dignity and respect when they become worn, torn, faded, or badly soiled. This flag is ready to be retired.
A flag ceases to be a flag when it is cut into pieces. We cut the flag into 4 pieces, 3 red and white striped banners, and the blue star field. We leave the blue field intact because no one should ever let the Union be broken.
As the parts of the flag are placed in the fire, remember, old flags never die. They just get fired up. The Scouts will maintain a vigil over the fire until no traces of the flag remnants remain, except, of course, the grommets. Those 2 are small metal rings that are used to attach the flag to a flagpole. These will be the only parts of the old flag to survive. So, once the ashes are cold, it is a Scouting tradition to find the 2 grommets and give them as a high honor to a very deserving person. This concludes this ceremony. Thank you for attending.
In order to perform a traditional flag retirement ceremony, you're going to need a fire. So I'm going to show you how to light a fire without the use of matches or a lighter. As a BSA Scout, you can earn your firemanship, which details safety precautions and other things you need to know when lighting a fire. As Webelos or Arrow of Light Scouts, you can begin to learn how to create your own fires with adult supervision. Cub Scouts and younger Scouts should really watch the older Scouts and adults on how to create fires in the future. First, some important safety tips. Can anyone tell me why this would not be a great place to start a fire? If you said, because there's a lot of plant life and trees around, you're right. The firemanship safety guidelines say that you should have a 5-foot radius clear of all kind of brush, plant material, and anything flammable, really, from your fire starting source. Another important thing is to have a container, usually a bucket, of water or sand, or one of each, near where your fire is, just in case something goes wrong. Lastly, you never want to leave a fire unattended. If you, as the fire starter, need to go elsewhere, you need to assign someone else to look after the fire for you. And lastly, we're going to use the cold test, which you'll see when we put out the fire at the end. To make a fire, you only need 3 things: fuel, heat, and oxygen. Fuel is the easy part. We can use these paper shavings for packing stuff, or dry grass. An especially good thing to start off your fire is dryer lint. And oxygen is all around us. I'm going to show you many different ways to get heat. Here we've built a small version of what is called a log cabin, so that the oxygen can get in with the fuel as much as it can. So that's our fuel and oxygen taken care of. For heat, we're going to be using a magnifying glass to concentrate the light from the sun to a single point so that we get enough heat to hopefully start a fire. This can take a lot of patience, so bear with me. We're going to see how far we get. And to start, I'm using a piece of newspaper with a lot of dark ink, because I hear that works best, and dark colors absorb heat the best. So, we're going to zoom in this magnifying glass until we get to a single point. You see it starts smoking there. Oh, there we are. And since we've already built our fire, it has a place to go. Now it is rather windy. And there we go. We've started a fire with a magnifying glass. Our next source of heat is going to be from using steel wool and a battery. Basically what happens here is the iron in the steel wool, a current goes through it from the battery and it oxidizes, releasing heat. Now make sure you get this kind of steel wool, this really fine stuff, and not this kind that you would use to scrub a pot with, and don't have soap in it either. Alright, we're going to see why we're in the shade in a moment, but have a look at this. All we need to do is touch the battery to the steel wool, and I've added a bit of extra for effect. But you can see it starts to oxidize, and if you have enough other kindling in there, it does catch pretty well. We're gonna try the short little flint and a knife. Oh, and there we go. Make sure to add your tinder in there. Get some more, real quick. Being very careful. When it is time to put it out, make sure you have a bucket of water and a shovel with dirt nearby. Try to be upwind of it so that the steam doesn't go in your face. And even though it looks like it's out, if there is heat coming off of it, don't leave it alone. You're going to want to keep adding water to this and waiting until it cools down to what feels like a normal temperature. And that's how you put out a fire.
Great job, Cameron. Before we get to the fan mail, we want to talk about a different kind of fan mail. Here to tell us more, please welcome Jason and Danny Gaina.
I'm here below deck of the USS Iowa, in the berthing quarters. This is where the sailors used to sleep. Aside from sleeping in these tight and not very comfortable beds called berths, they took the time to read letters from their loved ones, just like Jason and Danny were talking about. So, let's get those thank you notes going. Help us spread the word. Here are 3 organizations that help distribute letters to active military service members around the world. Speaking of letters, now's the perfect time for me to read some fan mail. First letter, let's see who it's from. Our first letter comes from Jonah in Pack 419 and has a question for Cameron. Oh wow, this takes us back to the Oobleck science experiment in episode 2. His question is, Cameron, how long can Oobleck last?
Thanks for the question, Jonah. In my experience, even in a small plastic bag, Oobleck does not last for more than a few days. I saw it getting dry even when it was sealed up, and after a few days, it does get moldy, so you probably want to throw it away. Remember, not in the sink.
Alright, next piece of fan mail. Let's see who this is from. This next question is for Miranda, and it comes from Ashley, who is a Star Scout in Troop 811. Miranda, Ashley wants to know how you are staying connected with your troop these days. She also wants to know when you will host another Kahoot. She says it was really fun.
Thank you, Ashley. That's a great question. When it comes to my troop, Troop 10G, we have been hosting Zoom meetings every Monday. Whether we be playing a drawing game, hosting a merit badge, or playing a Kahoot, it's always so much fun and allows us to still connect with each other during these times. As for our last Kahoot game, all of us really had a great time, and I especially like chatting with all of you. We haven't yet set a date, but we are probably going to set up one in the next 2 weeks or so. So keep an eye on our Facebook page for more updates on that.
Okay, our last question come for today. So, I have to get out of here. I think my foot's starting to fall asleep. Anyways, this one is from Steven in Pack 501 and is about to bridge into Troop 104. Oh, congratulations, Steven. His question is for Nathaniel. He asks, since you are already an Eagle Scout, are you allowed to get more merit badges still?
That's a really good question, Steven. First off, I'm glad to hear that you have a troop you're ready to bridge to. As long as you become an Eagle before you turn 18, you can continue to earn merit badges. And for every 5 you earn after the ones required for Eagle, you can earn an Eagle Palm, which is displayed on the full Class A uniform. Since I'm newly 15, I look forward to earning more Eagle Palms yet. Thank you.
Thank you for sending us all your letters. If you have any questions, email us at ScoutSaturdayLive@scouting.org. Now we'd like to introduce our next guest host, Max.
Moin Moin from Hamburg, Germany. My name is Max Beck and I'm super excited to be on Scout Saturday Live this Memorial Day weekend. I am a first class scout with Troop 802, part of the Boy Scouts of America, Overseas Transatlantic Council, Charlemagne District. The Transatlantic Council provides an unparalleled scouting experience for all of our members. But Memorial Day is an extraordinary day for TAC Nation Scouts, especially in Europe and North Africa, as we work together with organizations like the American Battle Monument Commission and the American Overseas Memorial Day Association to honor our nation's heroes that gave the last full measure of devotion for the freedoms we all enjoy today. I have had the opportunity to walk in the footsteps of these heroes while camping on Omaha Beach, Normandy, France, exploring the forests of Bastogne, Belgium, hiking the Liberation Route in Arnhem, the Netherlands, and have experienced the privilege to paying tribute to those interned at American cemeteries in the Ardennes, Flanders Field, and Henry Chapel, as well as Allied forces interned in little-known towns like Heverlee, Belgium, Oosterbeek, the Netherlands, while trying to understand the sacrifices made at Recon and Lacan. Wherever you may be today, we remember and honor those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice to help others at all times. This Memorial Day weekend, we are also grateful to our frontline workers, first responders, and our service members all over the world. Thank you for your continued service to others before self.
Thanks, Max. Nice job. We can't ignore the fact that Memorial Day and backyard barbecues and picnics go hand in hand. Today, we're going to show you some cool ways to carve a watermelon. You want to be very careful, and if you need any help, ask an adult to stand by. And always have an adult in the background just in case. You want to always cut away from yourself. While Charlotte is cutting the watermelon, I'm going to start on the strawberries. Your limits to what you want to put inside are up to your imagination. Right, with this banana, we're going to actually make a dolphin. I'm going to scoop out all of the watermelon. Nice. Whoops. No, none of you saw that. And we're going to save it for later. After we're finished scooping out the watermelon, we'll put all of the watermelon scoops back in and you can eat them. So now we have a hollowed out watermelon half. Watermelon. He struggled. And we're going to put it on our platter. Oh wait, first. We should cut off a little bit of the bottom so that it stays flat. Like if we cut off a little bit of the skin on the bottom, then it won't like I'm worried that it'll like fall out, you know? No, but you only cut like a little bit. I don't think I'm skilled enough for that. I think I'm skilled. So we're going to carefully carve into the side, and I'm gonna cut out cornucopia triangles. It's kind of looking more like a flower. Should we just do like a dolphin coming out of a flower? Why not? So we'll put our flower on the plate. So you can make your dolphin look like it's coming out of the flower if you were to like cut off a piece of it. That would also make it like balanced, because we can put our they're very aerodynamic, but like scoops back in. And now we want to put Chase's strawberries, right? Yeah. So how much of a dolphin do we want coming out of this flower? Oh, that's nice. Here's our little half dolphin. It doesn't have an eye, but we love it anyway. All right, you want to find a place for it? I would love to find a place. I shall use my excavate. Could be there. And it's like swimming in a pool of amalgamation. And we can like feed it. And then we can put the triangles around it as decoration. And there you have it. We made a triangle flower ocean pool.
That looks amazing, you guys. Next, I'm gonna show you how I made a military helmet. Oh, hey there! All right, so to start this experiment, you're gonna need these items, such as newspaper, a balloon, flour, water, and tape. The other items are optional, but it's good to have them to be prepared. Once you have your materials, the first thing you wanna do is cut your newspaper into strips. Now you want to make your newspaper not too big. This size is good. Once you have your newspaper strips, then you can make the paste for this experiment. In one of your bowls, you're going to want to get 1 cup flour and 1 cup warm water. Now you want to pour your water in slowly so that you don't overwater the mixture. You're going to want to whisk it until it becomes a thin paste. It'll kind of be like pancake mix. And then you're going to want to add just a pinch of salt. Once you're done, it should look like this. Now, as you can see, I use smaller measurements, but the same 1-to-1 ratio. And if you get it right, it should drip right off the whisk. Now that we have all of the materials set up, the next step is to blow up a balloon. Thankfully, I have my balloon already blown up. A good idea is to use a colored balloon, such as this, so that you can see what is left to be covered. Whatever kind of balloon you use, you want to measure it to your head. A good idea is to use a hat for sizing. It should fit just like your head on the hat. Once the balloon is ready, now you can tape it to the other bowl. As you can see, I have my bowl with tape already set up in it. Now, it should remain stationary. With that, you can begin the actual project. you want to take a strip of paper and brush the paste onto it. You can also dip the paper into the paste, but brushing it lets you get a nice and even layer on it. So once it's all covered, then you can take the paper and lay it onto the balloon. You can do this until the balloon is mostly covered. I'm going to be doing it until I get to the bowl, but you can also use a marker to tell you when to stop. All right. So you're going to want to do this in a crisscross pattern until it's mostly covered, and your hands might get a little sticky, but that's all right. If they do get sticky, if they do get sticky, however, you might want to have a little washcloth to wipe your hands off. All right. So you're going to want to do 1 to 2 layers, and then that should be the end of that part. Once you're done covering it, you're going to want to let the balloon dry. This will take a little time, about 1 to 2 nights depending on your environment, and I recommend drying them upside down. If you dry them upside down, you're going to want to place some newspaper or some other disposable tray to catch the paste that'll drip off the balloon. Once it's done drying, it should look like this. As you can see, the paste is hardened, and I put some green strips of paper so that I can get the color palette. Since the balloon has been sitting in the sun, it has started to deflate, but that's okay, because we're gonna have to deflate it and take it out in another step. Okay, with this next part, you're gonna want to have your parent or guardian to help you with this. You're gonna wanna get to your balloon, get a little bit more excess, and then cut a little slit into it to let the air out. Don't make a big slit. And then, I think I cut the string off. That's okay. And then, you're gonna wanna let the air out slowly. Okay, now that our balloon is out, if you want your helmet to have a brim, you can make little cuts. You can make cuts on the excess. Now it's very important that you don't cut too much, because you can always go shorter. Okay, so once you have your cuts, you're going to want to gently fold it out, and then you can put some more paper mache and newspaper on. Now, you can keep doing this until you meet your desired length. If you don't want a brim at all, you can just cut the excess off entirely. But like I said before, you can just keep doing this until you meet your desired length. So now the final step is designing. What you want to do is get little pieces of party streamers and use some of the old paste to paste it right onto the helmet. You can use any kind of color that you think would fit. Another way to do the camouflage look is to also use some regular paint. I use a sponge brush and some regular old paint, and then you just pat on the designs. The finished product is gonna look like this. Now, I made mine a little bit too big. Forgot to measure. I forgot to measure it to my hat, but I kind of like it. All right. So, a very important last thing that I want to say is that the paste is very sticky, like glue. So make sure when you're discarding any leftover that you throw away in the trash can, not the sink. We look forward to seeing your helmet project soon. Have fun. And now last, but certainly not least, Sam.
In honor of all those who serve in our naval forces, we're going to be making a model boat out of a milk carton. You will also need the following: some duct tape, scissors, 2 rubber bands, chopsticks or regular sticks, and if you have them, Legos. First, you want to carefully peel back the top of the milk carton like so. And then you're going to want to try to open it up. If it doesn't open up perfectly, it's okay. So now it's open, and you're going to want to cut it down the middle, right here. Now, take half of the carton that you just cut, the one without the little inlet. You can set the other one aside and use this for scraps so you can make bins or whatever stuff you want to put on your ship. Now, cut off these blue triangles I marked out, the triangles over here. And then you want to tape this onto this. You want to tape these together, that way it looks more like a ship. Do the same thing on the other side. Now that we have the hull of the boat done, now we can make it move. So, take the chopsticks or sticks that you have and tape them on your boat. Make sure that they're approximately the same length. Now, put the two rubber bands on, make sure they go across both of the sticks. And now, either take the bottom of the milk carton and wrap it in duct tape, or wrap a piece of cardboard in duct tape, and then you can use this as the propeller. So I'll put it in here like this. So when you wind it up, it spins. That's the propeller. Now all you have to do is just decorate it with Legos or whatever else you have at your house. This is the ship that I made. I tried making it look like a patrol boat. So you see there's some turrets on here, I got the cabin. Now let's put it in the water and wind up the propeller and see how it goes. Alright. You can do this in your bathtub, in your pool if you have one, or even in a pond. Now, you don't just have to use Legos. You can use cardboard, the milk carton, whatever you want. Get creative with it. I hope you had fun, and I can't wait to see it with the cool ships that you all make.
I'm standing in front of the Grumman F8F Bearcat. This is one of the only 13 remaining airworthy Bearcats. It was returned to flying condition in 1993. It was too late to see combat with the U.S. Navy. 24 squadrons were flying the Navy's hot rod by the end of 1948. On a flight deck, 50 F-8Fs fit in the space taken by 36 Hellcats. Today, it's my turn to say thank you to all of our wonderful fans out there. We really appreciate your praise and your feedback for our show. Here are today's unit shoutouts. Troop 190 from Anticock, Illinois, Pack 33 from Calabasas, California, Troop 437 from Hubert, North Carolina, Pack 527 from Santa Clarita, California, Pack 805 from Phoenix, Arizona, Troop 985 from Roswell, Georgia, Pack 624 from Mercer Island, Washington, Pack 315 from Noblesville, Indiana, Troop 490 from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Troop 406 from Plantation, Florida, Pack 109 from Moline, Illinois, Troop 642 from Woodland Hills, California, and Ship 481 from Oxnard, California.
And now, please welcome our next guest scout.
Hello, amanya gange is Mark Arnold.
Hi, amanya gange is Mani.
Tuli ba scout okuva mu Adventure East Scout Group mu Kampala, Uganda. Leero tuli basanyufu nnyo okugattibwa ku Scout Saturday Live olwaleero.
Uganda y'emu ku nsi ezikulaakulana eyafuna obwetwaze mu 1962. Era Uganda y'emu ku nsi ezigabanya olutalo. Era Uganda y'emu ku nsi ezifiiriddwa abannamagye.
Leero tuvuddeyo okuteekamu ekitiibwa ku basajja n'abaami abeewaayo okukakasa nti emirembe gyaffe balwanirira emirembe ekiseera kyonna n'okulwanirira kye tukkiririzaamu n'obuntu.
Abasikawutu mu Uganda bavuddeyo beegase leero okuwa ekitiibwa abasajja n'abakazi mu nsi yonna.
Paka we tunaddamu okuva mu Uganda, Scouts on.
Scouts on.
We received hundreds of pictures and videos of your projects from our last episode. It took us a bit of time, but we managed to narrow it down to our 3 favorites. Have a look. All 3 of these scouts will receive a Scout Saturday Live prize. We really enjoy all your videos and love seeing you do our projects from the show. You can send us your photos and videos by emailing them to ScoutSaturdayLive@scouting.org.
Our next show is 2 weeks from today on Saturday, June 6th. Don't forget, you can always go to our webpage where you can find information about today's projects, videos from our past episodes, our advancement trackers, and much more. www.bsa-la.org/SSL.
Thank you so much to Eventine for generously supporting our program. For more information about Eventine, check out their website at eventine.com.
This Monday, May 25th, in recognition of Memorial Day here in the U.S., the Boy Scouts of America is calling on you to do your duty by joining us in a global unified act of remembrance for our fallen heroes. Scouts and members of the public are strongly encouraged to face a flag at 3:01 p.m. in all time zones and play taps. Afterwards, consider acknowledging the name of a fallen hero or Medal of Honor recipient. We've made it really easy for you. All you have to do is get an adult's permission and visit www.bsa-la.org/memorial-day, where you will find everything you need to make it all happen. If you want to learn more about scouting, or know someone who may want to join in all of this fun, be sure to visit beascout.org to find a scouting unit near you. Before we go, to all the heroes of the world's military personnel, both past and present, from all of us at Scout Saturday Live, thank you for your service.
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 I'm Miranda Janae. Be safe, wash your hands with soap and water, and have fun with those projects. Bye! Hi, I'm Miranda, and I'm a scout in Troop 10. I'm aboard the historic battleship Iowa at the port of Los Angeles in Southern California. Did you know that you can actually have a sleepover on this real-life battleship? Their overnight experience includes an amazing guided tour, dinner, and breakfast the next morning. Participants get a patch and a dog tag too. You'll sleep where the sailors slept, eat where they ate, and be a part of living history. For more information or to arrange your overnight experience, email overnights@labattleship.com.